Hey everybody, I'm Kasha, and welcome to the Stanley Parable. Now for those of you that don't know anything about this game, it's more of a narration-based game, so I'm going to apologize now if my commentary is a little more lacking than what you might expect, because I'm probably going to be talking to the narrator and more than likely arguing with him as well. And again, for those of you that don't know anything about this game, it's kind of a choose-your-own-ending game. It'll give me a lot of different options, and there's going to be a lot of different possibilities and a lot of different endings. And I'm going to try to do a couple of the different endings, and we're not going to talk too much about it. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to begin the game, so that way we can get started.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Doesn't sound like the most exciting job ever, to be completely honest with you.
One day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, apparently I'm supposed to step out of my office. We are Stanley, for those of you that decided not to pay attention. Oh, we can walk pretty quick. Alright. Locked.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
No trace. No trace of co-workers. Where is said meeting room? Looks like someone's playing some solitaire. All these doors are locked. That's rather unfortunate. Still gonna try them though. I know if you try enough of the doors, I think that's one of the ways you can get a secret ending, if I recall correctly. A lot of weird nonsense going on behind these various doors.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Do I want to follow your instructions? That is the question that I'm asking myself. Do I want to follow my instructions? And you know what? I think we will. I think, at least for now, we're going to follow some of the instructions. He said left, right? Okay, 412. All the doors are locked. This does not help. What is the point of this? What's the point of having a window if all you see is white? It's either very bright outside or we're in a very white void of some sort. This looks like a meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Oh my god. That's gotta be one of the most ridiculous things ever. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. Wow, they don't even give you... They don't even write down your name. They just write down your number. That's horrible. Except for Jim. Jim doesn't have a number. That's awesome. Not cost efficient. Who moved my desk? Oh, man. The future was yesterday. Tomorrow is now. Alright. Some pretty funny stuff written down here. Please no more charts, I'm begging you. On your boss appreciation minute worksheet, circle top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out in triplicate and return. Wow. If you ever find yourself in conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, but more inclined towards conflict. Why did we hire you? It takes 2 people. Oh man, they're going by so fast I can't read them very quick. We're very quickly. Work harder. Hard worker. A lot of percent. Oh my god. Oh, these are so funny. Well, let's not fiddle around with them too much. Apparently we're supposed to go to the boss's office. We got a broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Alright, I guess we're gonna get back on track. We're just gonna listen to the narrator, at least for this first time.
Staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, we're just gonna follow the narrator's instructions, at least for this first time through. Man, this is a drastic change. Executive bathroom. I want to go. Yeah, this first time through, we're just gonna follow the narrator, just to kind of see what he's got going on.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Right.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Sheer luck. Thank you, narrator. Wow, this, yeah, this looks nice. Doesn't look like... Wow. Alright, well, there's nothing back here, although that was thoroughly creepy, in my opinion. Didn't get any instructions, so I assume button. That's my only real option. So, yeah. Yeah. Man, I wonder... We've had a couple different options now that we're going to have to be able to go back and not follow the narrator's instructions just to find out what happens. I know you can get so... You can get some...
Deeper into
Okay,
the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
No way!
There was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Anyway, I know just making one different decision. We've made several so far, and we've always followed the narrator's instructions thus far, but even...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the
Whoa!
red mind control facility.
Well, that's where the narrator wants us to go. But anyway, even though I keep getting interrupted by the narrator, I'm going to continuously stop. If I'm in the middle of saying something, I'm going to stop so that you guys can hear what the narrator has to say. Unless it's something I know you've already heard before. Anyway, I know even just changing one thing, like if I were to go this way, it's a completely different thing than if I were to just follow the instructions. But we are following the instructions. Mind control facility. Well, why is this behind a secret passageway in my boss's office? This raises a lot of questions. That's not creepy. This isn't creepy. This isn't strange at all. Well, since I'm trapped in here.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Whoa.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I have the strength to find out. I don't really know if Stanley does, but I actually want to know. This is... Whoa. This is nuts. Can you imagine just being at your everyday job and then something like this just happening? You wouldn't even be able to comprehend it. I think most people would be too scared just to try to figure out what was going on.
Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true nature
Fired.
revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals.
Oh my God.
Images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
There's no employees, though. I'm going to do a quick scan. Because if there was ever an opportunity to put... Oh, well... I was saying if there was ever an opportunity for them to put something in one of the cameras... Oh, well, there we go. Now would be the time. If you guys see anything that I don't spot, feel free to leave it in the comments section below. I want to just do my... I've only got a couple more. I don't see anything. If you guys see anything, I'm just doing a real quick scan. If you guys saw anything, go ahead and leave me a comment. You guys have a lot more time than I do.
Facility. It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
I hope
Had
not.
Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That
Possibly.
His emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yeah, but that doesn't really explain where everybody is right now.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Anything's possible if you believe.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Alright, I'm apparently supposed to dismantle it. It seems like the mind control facility is offline. I'm not really seeing... This is neat. This is a neat effect. There's not really any purpose for this, though. What is the purpose of this? I don't know. We're gonna find out where... How do we turn it off? Well, this looks oddly suspicious. I can't hit it. Everything's offline. What am I supposed to do? That has a 5 on it. Will something happen if I hit all the buttons in order? I would assume so. Let's try. Let's just try. 1, 2, 3 was over here, I believe. We're just trying this out. We've got time. 3. Where's 4? Because there's 5. There's 4. Why are you all the way over there? What nonsense is this? I hope there's not a time limit on this at all. This might not even do anything at all. I don't see why, though. It would seem a little unnecessary to put individual numbers on them unless you get... Unless something happens, right? Either way, we gotta shut this place down. Probably through that door. Facility power. And... well, that was a bit lackluster. I didn't see any 6s, so... well, damn. How disappointing. Numbering buttons 1 through 5 without any result. That is a big screen. Mind controls idle, awaiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Off? I can only assume that that's what I was supposed to do.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
That's awfully,
perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
That was an awfully deep segment of narration there, narrator. Odd that we would be in a giant office building with this kind of setting, though.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Are we happy? Is that it? Is that an ending completely? Achievement unlocked. Beat the game. Okay. I think that was one of the endings. I know there's so many more. Oh, joy! We're right back where we were! It's like everything that we just did was a lie! Alright, well, that was one of the endings, so that's going to be it for this video. If you liked, feel free to like, favorite, share, subscribe, and so on and so forth. And if you want to see more of the Stanley Parable, I'm going to do some more of it, because I'm very curious about this game, and I know that there's so many possibilities that we just have not discovered yet. And some of them are pretty insane. But if you want to see any of the other games that I've done, I've got those as well, so feel free to check those out. And with all that being said, I'm Kasha, and so we go. Stanley found himself faced with two annotations, one providing the option to subscribe, and the other providing a link to another video. Go on, Stanley, the choice is yours. Anytime now. Oh god, you have to click something.